Hi, so we are at number 80 through to number 71 of my countdown of my top 100 favourite albums of the 90s. We have in the background here Janet, TLC and Black Box representing 80 through to, no, 93 to 81. I'm just not going to be able to do this, am I? We have another 10 albums here. All of them records this time, no CDs fouling up the mix. Yeah, let's crack on with number 80, my 80th favourite album of the 90s would be these four Funky Divas. No, Funky Divas is there. These four Funky Divas. I was going to say that. Terry, Dawn, Maxine and Cindy. I remembered. I always forget Terry for some reason. And I know one of them is Sybil's cousin. I think it's Cindy. Anyway, back to the actual album. Funky Divas, number 80, my favourite albums of the 90s. I kind of prefer the back image to the front image of this. Although they do look funkier there. Funkier and a little bit like, I don't know. It's a look, isn't it? I think they look a bit classy in the back. Anyway. So we got Free Your Mind, we got My Loving, You're Never Gonna Get It, we've got Give It Up, Turn It Loose, we have Giving Him Something He Can Feel, and there was another single on this, but I only found out about it the other day when I was looking through my my book, and I think it was Love Don't Love You, I think it was, yeah. I'm surprised that Runaway Lover isn't on this, but I was told last time I talked about that on social media that there are some versions of it on, not this one. So, my favourite track off this would probably be Free Your Mind, although no, you're never going to get it. But I'm going to go with Free Your Mind for my favourite track off that. 79. I was going to make a dolphin noise then, but then I couldn't remember what noise dolphins make. I can remember now. I'm not going to be able to mimic that. Yeah, K-Class, Universal is my 79th favourite album of the 90s. I was initially very disappointed with this album because it didn't have the single versions of the songs on it because I was younger and that's all I wanted. I wanted the single versions, I didn't want extended versions. These days, lapping up the extended versions. And this was released in, I think it was 93, it was released 2 years after Rhythm Is a Mystery was released first. Yeah, early on in 91, later on in 91 became a hit. Then we got Don't Stop and we got So Right. But So Right isn't on this one. It's a bit bizarre, a bit slapdash. There's What You're Missing was a single, Let Me Show You was also a single, but because Rhythm Is a Mystery is one of the greatest dance songs ever made, nay, one of the best songs ever made, I'm electing that as my favourite track of this album. 78, Tribal Memories by Electribe 101. Is that the right way around? Yeah. Up the nose shot of, I assume this is Billy Ray Martin on the front cover. I was absolutely obsessed with Electribe 101 when they first came out. I just started listening to music in 89, then late 89, Tell Me When the Fever Ended came out, and I was like, oh, what's this? And then early 1990, Talking With Myself came out and blew me away because it's an extremely cool record. There was another couple of singles afterwards. There was You're Walking, which should have been a big hit, and Inside Out. But it's a great listen. Billy Ray Martin, obviously better known for her massive hit single Your Loving Arms. My favourite track of this is Talking With Myself, preferably the Frankie Knuckles mix. 80, 79, 78, 77. B-52's Cosmic Thing. Now, I think in America this was an 80s album, but over here in the UK, 90s. This is the lovely Record Store Day. It's meant to be a rainbow coloured vinyl, but I think I just got the blue and purple one with a smattering of green. Singles off this: Love Shack, Rome, Deadbeat Club, and Channel Z. Channel Z. Channel Z is what they call it because they are American. B-52s are one of the greatest bands of all time. Fact. My favourite track off this would be Rome. Because it's less predictable than me saying Love Shack, which is a great song, but I've heard it too many times, and Rome is a winner for me. 76. Prodigy, Music for the Jilted Generation. Now, when I bought this album, because I heard One Love, I was like, oh yeah, I've got to have that album. So I bought it when it came out, and everyone at school took the piss out of me for liking the Prodigy because they all liked grunge and REM and like indie, early Britpop indie bands, and I was told I listened to shit rave. Well, you came round to my way of thinking. It's a great album, and my favourite track of this would have to be Poison, apart from the intro, where I feel that Liam just swears to show off. Oh, I can swear. I'm trying to make this tune. So I went on my iTunes. I just started the track a little bit later. But the other singles off this were One Love, No Good, Voodoo People. Is that it? Yeah, and then Poison came after that. Oh, I really like Break and Enter as well. I like the Baby D sample off Break and Enter, which they remixed Baby D first, then pinched the vocal for Break and Enter. When they remixed Casanova. Fact for you, factoid. 80, 79, 78, 77, 76, 75. Future Sound of London, Accelerator. Now, you probably don't know this one, but you probably know Papua New Guinea, which is Future Sound of London's most famous song. And if you don't know the name, then you probably know it because you probably heard it playing on things. Give it a whirl, find out. When Papua New Guinea came out, I was in Spain. I used to get, because there was no internet back then, because I'm old, and the only way I could find out what the charts were was to buy the newspaper, which came out on something like a Wednesday, so I wouldn't hear the charts until see the charts till Wednesday, and the song Papua New Guinea had gone in the charts, and I was like, what is that? That sounds amazing, because that's the way my brain works in general. It's got a great name, it must be a great song. And then I heard it and I loved it, and a couple of years later I bought the album, and it's like techno-y, and those days it was quite frenetic techno. These days it's a really good chill out album. The track Expander on this is also a great track. My favourite track. The thing is with the rest of these tracks on here is because they don't have vocals, they don't have anything that makes me remember what the actual song's called. But I know that I love Expander, and I know that I love Papua New Guinea more because Papua New Guinea is my favourite track off that album. 74 is Natalie Imbruglia, Left of the Middle. The other cover, I prefer the one where she stood in the desert with different mirrors and stuff like that. But I'm not going to grumble that I managed to get a copy of this on vinyl. When we all heard Torn, we were all obsessed with Torn, and then we listened to Torn a lot. And then Big Mistake came out, and then Smoke came out, and Wishing I Was There. And we were like, she's good! And these days we all know that she's still good, and we all know that Come to Life should be on vinyl because one is one of the greatest pop songs ever made. But back to Left of the Middle. It is my 74th favourite album of the 90s, and my favourite track off this. Now really I should say Torn, because Torn is an amazing pop record. It's just I don't need to hear Torn played ever again. So I'm going to say Smoke. Yeah, you agreed. I know you agreed. 73rd favourite album of the 90s. Ace of Base, Flowers. Now, if you're American, you'll be like, it says Flowers and not Cruel Summer. Yes, it does. You were robbed. My favourite track off this has got to be Life is a Flower. It's a really unusual... I find it a really unusual song to listen to. The sort of the construct of it doesn't flow, but it sounds amazing anyway. I heard a scream, but it wasn't a scream, it was the wind. It's very windy here. On this version as well, of this album, we get like Life is a Flower, but also the Cruel Summer version underneath as well, with Life is a Flower re-recorded as Whenever You're Near Me. Really? Did you have to? Must you? Oh no, it was screaming. It's some noisy children outside. 72, 72nd favourite album of the 90s. I'm going to do this from the top down. Oh, it's legs. Can you guess? Can you guess? Oh, it's legs. Oh, these are long legs. Oh, they just keep going because it's Marcella Detroit's Jewel, where she has very long legs, and I don't know why, but she does. Now, I listened to this loads and loads and loads and loads and loads at the time because really I couldn't believe that Shakespears Sister wasn't a thing anymore. This came out, I believe, really wanted the album, bought the album, listened to the album loads. I like the album less these days. I don't think it's aged particularly well. It still has a special place in my heart and in my head, and it also reminds me of playing Sonic and Knuckles on the Mega Drive, because you had to do the 3D world, and I would think that's the jewel, precious little jewel that you get in Sonic and Knuckles, because I have the juxtaposition of music fan and games fan like that, depicting live. 71, 71st favourite album of the 1990s is Curve Doppelganger. Yeah, so not really in the same vein as the rest of the albums really that I have been putting on my countdown, but hey, for me this is pop. It's presented a different way. It's got a great female vocal. I love a great female vocal. I think I started liking this after I started liking Garbage, and then went back to listening to Curve and realising that Curve were garbage before Garbage were garbage, in a complimentary way. Oh, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. It's gone. Probably. No, it's back. I'm wasting time. I'm not going to sneeze now. So we've got Horrorhead and Fait Accompli, which were the singles on this, but also the sticker says The Ice That Melts Tips. The Ice That Melts the Tips was also a single, but I don't remember that being a single. I think the sticker is lying to me. I'll check my book later on. My favourite track of this is Fait Accompli. Is my favourite track of this, because I love Horrorhead a lot as well, but I'm going to plump for Fait Accompli. And that is a Fait Accompli. That's so funny. Right, okay, so next, over the weekend, I will do 70 to 61. There's lots more fun stuff to come. Probably. Oh, you don't care.